Hello everyone, my name is Dead Gambit and welcome back to Inventory Tutorial. Now in the last video we had went up and set up our little GUIs over here for our inventory, as well as made a folder that stores any object into a folder that we named inventory that stores any object that we grabbed, and a little shop that when we click on it gives us those objects from our server storage and puts them into our inventory. So in today's video, we are going to go into setting up a system that allows us to equip, let's do armor. I'm gonna do armor for this one. Or better yet, let's do a sword. Let's do a sword. Let's see, let's go in the toolbox here. Gonna type in sword. It's gonna be a regular tool. There we go. I'm going to grab that. Where'd it go? Going into my backpack. I'm going to throw it in server storage. Let's actually go ahead and make a folder in here. We'll call this items. And we'll put the classic sword in item. We'll put an item in there as well. It doesn't matter. All right. We got that in there. And let's see. So we want our let's open up the remote functions. And for now, we're going to change this to bring in the classic sword. We're just gonna have that clone the classic sword, and then we're gonna have it drop inside of our inventory, which will then set it to the GUI inventory. So let's open up our replicated storage real quick. Let me close these out. I don't know why this keeps every time I open Roblox or Roblox Studios, this keeps like going all the way over here. It kind of cuts off a lot. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But anyways, let's go into our replicated storage. We're going to go into GUI items. We're actually going to change this. We're going to change this frame from our item slot from a frame to an actual, we'll do an image button. We'll do an image button just because. Just for the sake of it. Okay, let's see. We'll call this item slot. Let's get rid of the image. And let's actually put in a text label. Call it item name. And we'll have this basically be the size of the screen. So set the size dimension to 1010. Scale the text. The label, we don't have to change it, but just because I'll do that. And then I'll go here into our script. I'm just gonna do a quick test, make sure that we can actually see what the name is. So it will be slot dot item name dot text. So I'm drawing a blank here for some reason. Equals child dot name. And now we should be able to see when we go over our little shop here. Or no, maybe not. Let me see. What's the issue here? Our remote functions, classic sword, yes. It's under items. Let's see. Oh, what happened to... Hold on. I see what happened. Okay. Alright, so somehow my click detection script got deleted. So anyways, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put an image button to start our GUI items. We're gonna call it item slot. We're gonna delete the old frame. And we're gonna put a text label. Call this item name. Scale it to 1010. Oops. Text scaled. And then we look at our manager. Well, it's already been saved in there, so that's good. Our remote functions, it knows what we're looking for. That's good. Actually, it deleted the sword, so let's put in a folder. We will call it items. And oops. And we will drag this here. And now we'll press play. And we should get our swords. And it should say sword. Okay, there we go. We got our classic swords. And as you can see, our cursor turns black, indicating that these are image buttons. So that's good. That's good. Okay, stop the thing there. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set it up to where we can actually press when we select the image GUIs, we'll be able to have the option to equip them or unequip them onto our person. So in this instance, we're going to throw the sword into the player's backpack. And then when we don't want the sword, we will unequip it. So let's see here. If you had watched the armor tutorial, then this should be fairly similar. I'm going to create a frame. And we're going to... Actually, let's just duplicate the main. We'll duplicate the main frame. And then we'll edit its dimensions. Let's put it at 0.4. I'm going to get rid of your transparency so I can select you. Move you over here. Still a little bit big. Let's see. Maybe somewhere here. That should do. We'll make you 0.5. A little bit darker. There we go. Let's get rid of these for now. We don't need them. And we will call this equip menu. And like I said, this is going to be fairly similar. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put in a string value. It's going to be called item name. Now we're going to have a text label. Going to be at the top. Let's edit its dimensions. Going to be 1 on the x-axis, and we don't want it too big on the y. So maybe 0.4. That's too big on the y. Here, we'll put it maybe 1.5. This will be called our description. Let's see. All right, get rid of the background. Scale the text. We can, I'll make the text white. I'll make it white. And now we're going to put in our buttons. We have our buttons here. Let's do 10.30. That's too big. Okay. Somewhere like here. This will be our equip, and this will act as our equip and unequip button. So for now, it's going to say equip. I'm going to have it text scaled. Let's make it white with. We can have the black stroke on it, and we'll actually make the button itself green. We'll duplicate that, drag it down. Let's get it a red color in here. We'll call this one cancel. That's not how you spell cancel. All right, so here are the basic objects that go inside. The next thing that we're going to do is throw in the actual script. So let's do a local script, and we'll call this, you call this handler, manager, doesn't matter. I'll call it handler for now. All right. So before we go into that, we're going to go back to our main and go into manager over here. Because right now, even if we were to select, even though they are buttons, even if we were to select them, nothing is going to happen because we don't have any function set up for that. So here's what we'll do. We're going to first put in a while loop. So we'll do while wait do. Then we'll have a for loop for index child in pairs script parent get children do if child is a image button, then child.mouse button one click connect function. Oh, I put a slash in then. I didn't mean to do that. Then, and let's see. So we're going to have to set up the parameters that allow us to either equip our sword or unequip our sword. Now, let's see. So let's actually set up two bool values. So we'll have two bool values in here and duplicate it. All right, so one is going to be called equipped, and the other is going to be called is selected. Now we can do if child dot equipped dot value is false, then if child dot is selected dot value is false, then we'll do another for loop that's going to scan through to see which one is the child name, to see which objects aren't the child name, and then it's going to set their is selected values or is equipped values to false, depending on whether they're set to true or not. So it'll be for index others and pairs. It's basically looking at the same thing. Get that parent, get children, do if others is a, come on bro, is an image button, then if others is not equal child, then others dot is selected dot value will be set to false. So that's when we go ahead and then set the object that we have, that we did click on. We'll set the bool values to that one to true. It'll be true. And then we want our equip menu. Let me close these. We want our little equip menu here to be visible. So let's, for right now, set that to invisible, and let's reference it at the top here. Local equipment equals script dot parent dot equip menu. So we have equipment dot visible equals true. We'll do equipment dot description dot text equals do you want to. Sorry for my typing, I'm using a new keyboard. It's an actual keyboard, not my laptop's keyboard, so kind of not familiarized anymore with how the keys were. I'm used to having my hands right in the center of my laptop, so I'm not used to everything kind of being shifted to the left or to the right a little more than they were, so I might have a lot of typos. Again, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll definitely get the hang of it later on. It's just been a long time since I last used a physical keyboard separate from my laptops. But anyways, we'll do child.name. So in essence, we're just changing the description to ask if we want to equip it. Like I said, this is going to be kind of similar to the armor tutorial that I did. So it'll be equip text equals equip. If you remember the equip button, our text currently says equip, and if you remember from the armor tutorial, if we were to already have an item equipped, when we click on this again, instead of it saying equip, it will say unequip, and then we'll have a whole different function for that. But that's not until down the line. Let's try to keep going here, and we'll do equipment dot what am I trying to do here? I'm sorry, dot item name dot value will be the child's name. Okay, so for now, I just want to test it out. I'm going to click on here. Here's my sword. I pressed a sword and there it is. It came up for us. Of course, we can't equip it or unequip it yet because we are not at that point. So let's look back. I'm going to close these out. Okay, so let's go back to our manager. And then we're going to have we'll set up the other function. Even though we won't be using it yet, it'll be else if child, God, typos. Else if child dot equipped dot value is true, then if not of, if child dot is selected dot value set to false, then for child dot for index in pairs script dot parent get children do same thing as the top. If others is a image button, then if others is not equal to child, then we deselect or set the is selected value to false. What happened? I did not set others, and I'm still making typos. No, others. I forgot to do the second equal sign. Okay. So we set that to false. We'll do child dot is selected. Come on. Dot value is equal to true. Equipment dot visible is true. And I'm actually going to, let me do this. Let me just copy these, paste it here, and then we'll change it. So instead of it asking if we want to equip, we'll say, do you want to unequip child.name? And then we will set this to unequip. So we got that there. Now we're going to go back to our handler script. And we're going to, this is where we're going to put in the functions for the equip and the cancel button. So let's do this. Let's do local player, local game, players, local player, or game, players, player added weight. And we're not going to call the player in our script. This is just to Let's reference our main. We'll have local main equals script dot parent dot parent dot main. And then let's do local events game replicated storage dot events. And of course, let's actually no, we'll do remotes. No wonder it didn't come up. So we'll call it remotes. Okay, so we have that. So in our remotes, let's go ahead and duplicate this shop remote event, and let's change it to equip. Now we're going to do for index child in pairs script.parent get children, do if child is a, now we're referencing our actual buttons here, our equip and our cancel. So if the children here is a text button, then if child dot name is equip, then if child dot text is equip, then so now we're going to do another for loop. Items in pairs, and this for loop is going to reference our main that we called up here. It'll be main get children, do let's see, if items dot is selected, oops, if items is a image button, then if items dot is selected dot value set to true, then we're going to set their equipped value to true. Come on. And we'll set their is selected value to false. And then we'll fire our remote. And after that, we will set this, we'll set its visibility to false. Okay. So now that we have that, let's go into our server script service. Go to our remote functions, and let's type in remote dot equipped dot on server connect function. Always put in a reference to the player if you can. So let's see. How are we going to do this? If I go back here to the handler, we have two references. We have our item name, and we have a condition. So we'll have item condition, and we'll do if condition is equal to equipped, just like it says here. We're sending this text as a condition, equipped. So if condition is set equal to equipped, then let's see. We want to send it to the player's backpack. So we would first want to check the index items and pairs. Let's do this for index equipped items in pairs player. I believe it's called backpack. I'll have to check. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so it is the player's backpack. Okay. So we'll do get children, do equipped items. We basically want these gone, removed, destroyed. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do one more thing. And that was to see real quick. We have to put in this else statement. So we'll do child and equip dot value will be set equal to false. Okay, so got that out the way. So let's go back to our remote functions. And so now we'll do local. Let's see. Local. How am I going to do this? Okay, so local selected item is equal to game dot server storage dot items. This should work. Should be able to do item clone. Oops. And then it should be selected item dot parent will be equal to player dot backpack. I think that should work. I could be wrong, but I'm going to test it out and see what happens. We load in, get our classic sword and the equip. We equip it. We have an error. Let's see. It says remote is not. Oh, because I did not capitalize the R. My bad. Let me hit play again. Okay, so I click on my shop. I got a sword. I want to equip it. It didn't do anything. Why? Let's see. If anything, it should, even if this, even if the remote script doesn't work, it should be able to set this to, the invisibility to false. Yeah, script.parent.main. Okay, I'm going to monitor what happens. So I add an image. There it is. So it's selected. It's not equipped. We go into the equip menu. As our name here is equipped there. If I do that, oops. So that's not right. That's not right. Okay, let me see. I don't think it. I think it has something to do with the handler, which it shouldn't. But okay, so I don't really know exactly what had happened there, but I believe I got the script up and working again. So go ahead and pause the video here, and I'll let you take a look at the script for a few seconds. Okay, so now if I go into the playtest, it should send me the sword into my backpack. And there I go. I have the sword. Nice, nice. Of course, I didn't set up the unequip part of that yet, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's do go down here to do else if child dot text is unequip, then for index item pairs main get children, do if item is a image button, and then if item that is selected value is true, then armor oops, not armor, item that equipped that value set to false, item that is selected dot value is set to false. And then of course we send off our remote event and we change it from equipped to unequipped. And of course we set our equip menu from visible to invisible. And let's go ahead and add in the cancel button. Let me go up here real quick. I like to try to match each statement with where they belong. So it'll be, we set that to cancel, or if the button's name is cancel, then we do for index item in pairs main get children, do if item is a image, oh my god, image button, then let's see, let's just go ahead and set all the items we'll just set it to false. And after that, we make the parent invisible. So like I said, this is going to be very, very similar to the armor tutorial. Let's go ahead and check here. We got our classic sword. We have our equip menu. And we can equip our sword. Nice. So we open it again. We press unequip. Hello? Of course, I forgot to put in the statement for unequipping. let me see here. This should actually, that line should actually be in here. Okay, so let's do else if condition is equal to unequipped, then we simply, well, we can copy this destroy statement here, this whole for loop and the destroy statement. We could just simply put it there because we don't need it anymore. We'll wait for that to load. Let's run over to our shop. We equip it. Hey, we got a sword. Nice. Go back here. Hello. Okay, buddy. Always giving me problems. Let's see. What don't you like? Get out of manager. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me open up manager. I could be wrong somewhere. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna exit out of the remote functions. So I have this as a capital E. I actually want it to be a lowercase e. It has to match what it says here. So that's most likely the issue. I'm hoping. Okay, so I equip it. I got a sword. I unequip. Why is it doing that? Come on. Back to my remote functions. So else if the condition is set to unequipped, which is what the manager does. Let me try to copy and paste. Although I don't see that as being the issue. Okay, sorry about that. So I did get it to work. Now, almost forgot one more thing. When you do equip a sword, it does go to it does get out of the player's backpack and actually goes onto the player itself. So go ahead and open up that remote's function script and go to, let's do for index, let's see. Let's do for index on player in pairs, player dot character get children, do if on player is a tool, then on player destroy. So not only is it going to check to see to basically delete everything that is within the player's backpack, but it'll also delete any tool that the player has already equipped on him. Okay, let me go over to our shop. Classic sword, equip. And held the sword in my hand. I press unequip, and now it's gone. And then we can equip it again. And then we can take it off. I'm also going to stop the test play. I'm also going to have the script open for you to see. Let me exit out of that. So go ahead if you have not already. Double check, make sure that your script looks like mine. You can go ahead and pause it here. Okay. So we got that out of the way. Somebody had asked me on the armor tutorial about how would you differentiate the two, like differentiate an armor from a tool. So I'm actually going to, let's actually do that. Let me see real quick. I want to look at the click detection. So I'm going to bring over one of the armors that I made from the other from the inventory tutorial. I'm going to bring in my my epic armor. I'm going to open up server storage. Let me close these for now. I'm going to open up server storage. Go to items. I'm going to drop it into my items folder. And I'm going to delete an item because we really don't need that right now. So under the remotes function for the click detector, instead of it just bringing in the classic sword, let's just have it bring in everything. So we'll do for index all items in pairs, game.server storage.items get children, do all local item equals all items clone, and item dot parent will be our inventory. So now the question is, how are we going to tell whether what we have is a sword or some armor? Well, it's actually quite simple. So let's open up our armor and let's put in a folder. Do we need a folder? No, I'm not going to do a folder. Let's just put in a simple string value. We will call it type. Oops. and we'll simply put armor. And then let's go to classic sword. We'll paste in our type and we'll call this weapon. Okay. So now we'll go in here and let's see. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry, we wouldn't go in handler just yet. Let's go to our open up the starter GUI and let's look into our manager script that we have under main. And for when the child is added, we're gonna do slot dot type. I say let's call it item type. I think type is already a function, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really remember. I'll just call it item type dot value equals child dot item type dot value, and let's go ahead and change these to say item type. Now let's copy that again, go to our replicated storage, our GUI items, look inside our item slot and plop that in there and get rid of the value. Okay, let's see. Oops, don't like that extra space there. We have that. That's good. So now we can go back to the handler and let's let me see. We don't really need to mess with anything in here aside from, because what this does right here is it's controlling, it basically saying all the other items is going to instantly be unequipped. But if we want to be able to equip a sword as well as have our armor, we wouldn't want everything to be unequipped, because you know, our sword is different from our armor. We only want to equip the sword, not the armor. So let's do this. Let's do else. We'll do an if statement. If item dot item type dot value let's see. No. Let me. Okay, so let's put an item type string value inside of our equip menu, and we'll do the same thing that we did with the name and put it in put it as the item type. So instead of saying item name, it'll say equip that menu that item type that value equals child dot item type dot value, And we could copy and paste that and put it onto the other statement that's below here. A, B. So now we can do if item dot item type dot value is equal to script dot parent dot item type dot value, then we set those items to be unequipped. So let me see. First, I want to see if I can get. Yep, I got both. So I didn't put in the function for the armor yet, but I wanted to focus. I wanted to put my primary focus on the swords. Let me see here. So if I equip it, there it is. And I don't want epic armor, I want the swords. I can look at them. So this one is equipped. This one is equipped. For now, I'm going to show these as being equipped. Or one of these is being equipped. Let's say I had equipped my armor. And I'm going to keep it highlighted on this. If I were to select my thing again and press unequip, my classic sword is no longer on hand, but my armor remains equipped. And then we can see it here. So now let's go into the handler, and we're going to put in another condition or value. We're going to throw in another value. So we'll do item dot item type dot value. And of course, we'll do the same thing down here. Item dot item type dot value. And we'll go to our remote functions. We do item type. So this is where we now are going to do if item type is equal to weapon, then gonna copy or cut and paste this here. And we'll do an else if statement. Else if item type is equal to armor, then we'll do first we want to destroy we want to do the same thing that we did with our weapon. We want to destroy any items, pairs, oops, pairs, player, dot character, get children, do equipped items, destroy. Let me space these out. So this is for our weapons. I'm gonna comment these in. And these are for our armors. We'll have weapon, armor. This will be equipping, unequipping. Okay, anyway, so if the item type reads that it is an armor, and then we're gonna look for the player. But we don't want to destroy anything yet. We want to make sure if equipped items is a model, then we destroy the equipped items. Let's see. We do that, so then we'll do for index now let's do local selected item equals game got server storage dot items item clone and selected item dot parent equals player dot character. We'll do for index player parts parts in pairs player dot character get children do no, I'm sorry. We don't use this one yet. So it'll be for index item parts in pairs. It'll be selected item get children do if, and then that's when we bring out the for index player parts in pairs. Get rid of that. That would be player parts in pairs player dot character get children do if player parts is a base part, and then item parse that name equal to player parts dot name. Then we'll do item parts dot primary part dot C frame equals player parts dot C-frame, put in a weld equals instance dot new weld constraint. Don't use welds because using regular welds are kind of tricky to work with. Weld constraints actually allow you to be able to move two parts without them going to their original without them conforming to their original position. So you can keep them in their, you can basically keep them in the same spots without them like going to wherever the parent object you're welding them to position are entirely. Like say you were making a sword and you wanted the blade to be right on top of the hilt. That's where you would find that issue with welds, where if you were to manually throw in a weld and then put the part 1 of the weld as the hilt and part 2 as the blade would then be set to the hilt's position instead of directly on top of it. So that's why I like to use weld constraints, because they're easier to work with and you don't have to do that much scripting with them. So let's see. Then we'll do weld part 0 equals player parts weld dot part 1 equals item parts dot primary part weld dot parent equals item parts. Whoops. Oh yeah, no, I'm right. Item parts the primary part. Okay. And this is all for our equipping function. So let me go ahead and see if that works. Hopefully. So here we go. My classic sword. I equip it. Hello? Manager in line 19. Item type is not a valid part of epic armor. But it is. Interesting. Let me see real quick. So if we go here, let's add a weight. Let's add a weight for child, because it probably could not update in time for it to recognize that there is a string value in there. Okay, let's check. I don't see anything. So I equip, I have my sword on hand. And then if I want my armor, I have my armor. Both my armor and my sword is equipped. I don't have a function to unequip the armor yet, but I can unequip the sword. And there we go. I have no sword, but I still have my epic armor. Gosh, that looks so ugly. But there we go. So now we go back into our remotes function and we're going to work on the unequip part. So let's see. So here is our unequip part. So let's put in, we have another condition now. So let's put in our little comment section. This one is primarily for weapons. So if item type is equal to weapon, then, and we will cut this out and paste it in. And then we'll add an else statement, or else if statement, else if item type is equal to armor, then, and this part for the armor is actually very simple. We're just gonna go back up here to where we were going to equip. We're just gonna copy and paste that. I'm just gonna copy and paste that on there, and that should pretty much take care. Let's see, I want to make this armor. Oops. And that should pretty much take care of our armor when it's equipped. So I'm going to once again hit play. So I have my classic sword, I equipped that. I have my epic armor, and I equipped that. And now I have both. I can unequip my armor, but I still have my sword. I want to equip my armor again. I can unequip my sword, but I still have my armor. And I can literally keep doing the same thing. I can equip a new piece of armor, and that armor's gone. And I have this piece now. As you can see, I have that. I can keep switching it up. Hey, oh, I know. Alright, so the reason why it duplicated it was because I forgot to put in, so if you remember, we had to put in another for loop for whenever you had the sword actually equipped. So we're just gonna go ahead and copy and paste that into here. We're just gonna throw that right under here under our equip section. That way, even if the sword is already equipped and we switch out for another sword, it's going to delete whatever the player was previously holding and give us the new one. So that way we won't have to have multiple things in our backpacks if we don't want them, depending on what type they are. So we'll go here, equip our sword. There it is. Our armor. Let's buy another sword. So let's say this is the one that was equipped. I can equip this one and then it switches out. I can keep doing that over and over again. Same with the armor, I can keep switching it out. You won't really see the change, but it is there. Okay, so what time am I at? Wow, I wanted this to be shorter than it was, but unfortunately, I could not do that. So let me see here. Do I have time? I'm actually going to end it here because of how long this video is already. I know I promised that if I did have the time, I would go over the inventory save, but that will have to be for the next video. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really does help this channel. And please, if you have any questions, please just feel free to comment comment them. You know, I try to go through everyone's comments. I try to reply whenever I can. I just ask that everybody try to refrain from saying things like, this does not work, this no work, it no work, whatever, not work. Because I'm sorry, but I'm not going to reply to those kinds of comments. If you need help, I do need more specific details. If you can, try to playtest through your game when I playtest through mine. Just like when I start playtesting through mine, just pause it and playtest through yours and make sure that yours is working just like mine is. And that way, you know, if you see that when I playtested it that mine worked and yours didn't, you can comment exactly where the issue was, and then I can probably take a look and be like, oh, that's because you probably didn't do this and blah blah blah. But I'm sorry, I'm just not going to respond to those kind of comments, because those comments no work for me. It's not going to help me help you at all, so just keep that in mind, guys. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. Bye!